All right, so I have a problem in the mix here for our Inventables. I've been working on this, getting this place to ready to go for the Inventables, and the unit I was getting needs a 31 by 66 inch base, which is what I had built here. Enter the problem that I have is they are out of parts for that unit. And so the kind people at Inventables said, hey, Mark, tell you what we can do. We can either get the parts that we need for you, and it'll be February before we get the end of February before we get the unit, or we can send you the other unit. The other unit is better. It's a better unit. It's like $2,000 more. And they said, we'll do that at no extra charge because it's, our mistake or our shipping problem, which is great to me. I mean, maybe it's that we've got a whole bunch of the other ones. Let's go ahead and move those instead of getting backlogged. And so I'm sitting here in my mind because you can see how little space I have right now with the thickness sander in here. I need 14 more inches. 14 more inches. It's tight. It's really tight. So I've got this wood lathe over here. This is actually a 1973 Delta Rockwell wood lathe that was in a high school. Yeah, it's old. It's almost as old as I am. That sucker is solid. It is heavy, and you can still find those for about $1,000 online. I actually bought it at an auction for $50. I haven't used it in about 15 years, and in fact, I hadn't used it in so long that the motor on it got gummed up. But I took it over to Jim's Electric Motor, and they took care of it, fixed it and stuff for it. But that thing is so heavy that you could put a tree on there and it's not going to vibrate. I thought about taking it down and putting it in the garage I have down in Waynesboro to get it out of here to save some space. And then I thought about my dad, who he's 83, 82, still does some woodwork and stuff, although he said he doesn't do that much anymore. He said, bring it on over. He said, but he doesn't really, he probably won't use it, but I can put it in the garage there. But I think I've got the solution here. So I'm going to extend I've got actually a great idea that actually will help me. So here's what I thought, because I built this cabinet right here, which is only 24 inches wide. Now I need a bigger base. So here's what I came up with. Keeping this unit, because it's nice now. I've got space in here storage-wise. I got to make the fronts here. But I've got nice deep drawers in here to put materials, blades, and stuff like that. I got this top here that I've made and things, but it's not big enough. I'm going to redo the top. So here's what I came up with, and I think this is actually going to be a winner as far as what I'm doing. So one of the problems I have here is storage-wise. I've got lumber racks that are up here and racks that are over here, but still have, I've got miscellaneous. These are like shelves that I've made and antique. Look, that's a piece of antique heart pine. This is from a house that's like 180 years old. You see some of the termite stuff in there, but I don't want to get rid of it. Eventually, I'll make something out of it. So space is a premium here. So here is the bright idea I have for it. I've already got the planer space that's right in here. So here's what I figure I will do. We'll take the cabinet, we'll move it over the 14 inches that I need to give me that space. The thickness sander needs to sit out in the floor some. It just has to, because you need to go in this way. I will lose some of the capacity of it by having to move it down, but I'm actually going to move it down here where the wood lathe was and put the wood lathe here in the middle, being that the wood lathe is only 18 inches wide and this is 47. This will put it down here. I won't have but about 5 feet to come out, but what I can do is I can get a base with wheels on it that will enable me to be able to move it around if I need to give myself more space. That way I can pull it off the wall and just kind of roll it back a little bit here, and then I can get the full depth. The good thing is now when this comes out that 14 inches, I'll still have 3 feet beyond it to work. And here's what I figured I would do with the space that's in here. I can't use drawers or cabinets on that side, so it'll be a waste. But what I can do is I can go ahead and I can build me a lumber rack. So basically it's just going to be open. I'll have support for the tabletop and everything in here, so that'll be good. But we'll keep it open and we can keep extra lumber in here. Now, again, this is only going to be about 70 inches long, so we're not going to put 8-footers in here. But if we have short pieces that we know we're going to need, you know, like over here, this piece of mahogany that's about 6 foot, that kind of stuff will be able to fit in there out of the way. So I can actually have extra storage right in here. And if I'm smart, I'll make it like 2 levels. So that way I can say, okay, I've got short pieces like those little shelf pieces to go in there. And longer pieces if I want longer ones down the lower part. And if I decide I want to plane them or whatever, I can go ahead and plane it right there. So this is me making an attempt to use as much space as possible. Now, this 4x4 unit, the advantage of this is this. See, they have, and the reason why I said I'm going to bite the bullet this time, big time. I looked at getting less expensive ones and smaller ones and things like that, but here's the thing on this. With this, even the 2x4 unit, it's open in the back, and they have what's called tiling. And by that, you can actually lay out like a 4x8 sheet, even though the cutter head can only move that 24 inches. You can slide the plywood in more, and it will pick up where it left off to go ahead and do things. So you'd be able to cut out bookcases, you know, with the full length of the cabinet. It just means, though, there's more setup time that you have to do to make that work. With the 4x4 unit, that means it doesn't have to be changed up as much. So you end up having that cutting capacity of 4 foot. And if you're cutting out, let's say, base cabinets are 34.5 inches tall. Well, you could cut out both pieces on that sheet and not have to move it. It'll be able to do all the work. So in retrospect, something that started out as a big problem will actually be better in the future. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And having this extra space here for storage will be fantastic. So I'm really excited, and I'll still get this piece. I'll get the unit next week, and being able to put like a whole 4x8 sheet and laying out all the stuff that I want cut out, that's going to be insane. So I can't wait. And unfortunately, though, my workshop was beginning to get put back together, and now it's a mess again. But as my dad used to always say, you have to make a mess to fix a mess. And that's exactly what I'm doing, fixing a mess. I'm Mark Holmes, and well, you know how we roll. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.